It's Don here from the board. Thanks for coming along and checking out this video. So this is the next part in turning this Carter No.7 plane into a shooting board plane. So we've cleaned it up, restored it, and now what I want to do is I want to actually make a hot dog. A hot dog handle is basically something that's going to attach to the side of the body where the wings are here. That's going to allow me to grip it for the purposes of driving it up and down on a shooting board, because the handle natively is in an uncomfortable, not workable position. Something like a Stanley 51 that's paired with the 52 shooting board is actually angled. That allows you to actually have a comfortable grip to push the plane along on the shooting board. Now, originally when I was thinking about how I would do it, I was going to have it sit across this front brace of the body, but looking at it, it's probably not where I want it to be because it's in front of the blade. I really want to be behind the blade to push and drive it rather than pulling it through the cut. Since it's going to be cutting on contact, say there, I don't want to be trying to drag it through, I want to be pushing it through. So I really need the handle, the hot dog, to actually be probably around here. Ideally it would be around here if I could, but there's no real space there, and unless if I make it come up really high, then that's going to create instability. So I'd probably want something that my fingers could get in underneath here against the body, and then I can actually get in like so. I could take the entire handle off and that will give me more space here, but I don't know how much value that's going to bring as opposed to something that's just a little bit more raised that I can sort of do that with on the shooting board. So I'm going to cut a bit of timber that's going to fit that profile there where I want it. Now this is quite thick. This is pallet timber that's been cleaned down from my stash of pallet wood that I've got down below. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a determination here. I'm going to use a pacer which has no lead, so that's not going to work really well. I've got a pencil, there we go. And let's say that if I don't want my fingers really contacting the frog, it's probably going to be about maybe there. So I want it to maybe be sitting around there. Okay, and then I probably want it to be comfortable enough to be about back there. Maybe about there. So that's kind of the size that I'm after, and it's going to be about, what's that, 13.5 mil, thereabouts. So what I can do is, that's pretty much at the front of the frog there. I've got this bit of cardboard, and I'm going to trace the shape of that. So we're going to put that down. We'll sit it about, let's get it about there. So I've got some front and back on that. And I want to get in around there as best as I can. And that's going to run it all the way across. And that is pretty much going to be, yeah, where that starting point's going to be. Naturally I want to be running that across. For reference, I guess we will take it up to the mouth, which is kind of, I haven't really framed it very well, but if I do the peak, then I can always just cut it back. Okay, so that should give me enough of an indication of that body shape. So let's put this back down. There we go. And let's cut this out with some very old scissors that I got with some other stuff that's had the tip broken off of it. We'll try and cut it relatively close, I guess. These are really uncomfortable scissors, but for what they are as workshop scissors, I think they'll probably be okay. All right, let's try and follow this curve a little bit. Okay, just cut that off there. Don't know why I put the plane away when I need it to align that, but let's just get that back, and let's try and line that up. So, wow, the angles for that, for whatever reason, are way off on the bottom here. You can kind of see there's a huge lip. Yeah, huge lip. But we'll match it to the top of the cut instead, which is good. And it sits at about there. So that is about there. Okay. Now, where did I put that? Maybe close enough for that, I think. So let's just trim that. Yeah, that looks good. And the end of that curve sits about there, which is about there. So we'll end the curve about there. Right, so that should fit the curve on the top nicely there, which it does. And then the bottom, what we can do is now, with that in place, I don't have any clips, but what I'll do is I'll just run a quick tape of that just there. And then a quick bit there. Oh, that didn't hold at all. I did too good a job in oiling and waxing this. That's not actually doing very much at all. So what I can do there is I can put that on top and then run my pencil along like that. And that gives me a better idea of where I should be cutting that. Okay, so that's the bit that I want to cut out this way so that I can stick that on. So let's just peel that off. And here is my blank that I'm going to start with. And we'll go this way, I guess. We'll make advantage of one straight edge and we'll trace this out just like that. And that's the shape that we want to be cutting. So it's going to sit on there. We can somehow put some adhesive on that, and we can get that to stick on, and then we can start building up the height of that with extra layers and shaping that. So I'm probably not going to bore you with what's going to come up ahead, but it's basically going to be me cutting and sticking and gluing, and then we'll get this all onto this somehow. My current plan is actually to probably clean this a bit, and then what I'm going to do, rather than making it a very permanent attachment, is I've got this Gorilla tape. This is one of their stronger tapes. It is a semi-permanent tape, they claim, but if it sticks to this after I've given it a little bit of a clean and it holds well, I can super glue the block of wood to the tape, and that way, if at a later point in time I can remove it without damaging the actual plane itself, because it's only glued to the tape, and then the tape I can scrape off, peel off, dissolve the glue, etc., without too much damage to the actual plane. Not that I'm too concerned, because I mean, as a carder, by comparison to some of the other planes out there in the world, it's not as nice, not as important, not as big a deal. So we're going to go down the back-breaking process of cutting that out, test fitting it, building it up, because it's going to need a few layers to get to a grip height that I can actually work with, and then shaping it, smoothing it before figuring out how to attach it to the body of the plane. So that's where I'm going to leave this video for today. Hopefully in the next part we're going to come back to is the actual final shaped item, and then attaching it and seeing how that looks and fits and feels. Thanks very much for checking out this video. If you like this kind of stuff, of course, please hit the like button, bell notification if you want to see more parts of this. Go check out all my other videos leading up to where we're at. And yeah, until next time, happy clacking.